Wow. So you basically started a real estate investing career the second you lost your own house.
Yes. What a good time to learn from it, right?
That's a
Lose your house first.
right.
Number one.
Well, when things are going good, it's really easy to feel unconquerable. And I get how, the health issues within your family, that was kind of the first thing that happened where it was the first sign that things weren't going so good. How would you respond differently today under those same circumstances?
Knowing what I know now, so many people, hindsight is 20/20, right? Yeah, I would be more calm, for sure. I was freaking out. I mean, it was scary. When you don't know if you're going to have enough money to make it like the next day and have to feed children, and you've made promises to your wife for better or for worse, and you feel like you brought nothing but worse, it was not an emotionally stable time. It was very, very hard. We had a strong support system, and without it, I don't know what would have happened. I definitely know that, knowing what I know now, I would have reached out for more help sooner because I didn't know all of the options when it comes to, foreclosure and losing your house and what it is that you can do. And so many of those options are now prevalent. So many of those options are already prevalent, so it's very, very easy now to see what I could have done but did not do.
Mm-hmm. So you're no longer in the world of financial planning, and I get how your life circumstances caused that to not be the case anymore. What is, as you'd mentioned already, that hindsight is 20/20, and that's somewhat the theme of this show, is that we're taking people's hindsight to turn that into your foresight. Hindsight being 20/20, what was one mistake that you made in your first endeavor that you swear you'll never make again?
Yeah, that's absolutely a good question. One of the things that drives me, no matter what, is being able to be of service and helping, other people. And what I learned is I can be of service to people, but I also still have to make sure I take care of my own needs. And that was one of the things that I totally neglected. And I did so, at the detriment. I was doing some great things when it comes to financial planning, and I chose to serve a market to where, they couldn't necessarily pay the kinds of, commissions on the products that were necessary, or they didn't have enough money that I could manage for them to actually, sustain a living. But I felt emotionally wonderful about it. And how many times do, we make a decision because it just feels good without considering all the consequences? And what ends up happening is that we feel really, really good about it. And to compensate for that, I spent lots of nights and weekends, at clients' houses and driving on the freeways and all these other things that are a part, of that particular business. So, one thing, if for sure, is that I still want to help people, and I was very committed, still committed, and I love the fact that I get to do that now. I just was committed to also making sure that as I help people, I also receive enough help to live. And one of the things that I've heard before is that if you help enough people get what they want, you'll have more than enough for yourself, and that's definitely something I've been more focused on this time around.
Got it. Invaluable words to live by. Okay, so now that you're on your way back up, you pulled yourself up, you're in the middle of your do-over, what new habits or disciplines have you had to adopt?
One of the major differences, in fact, something that I believe so many people miss but would like, is it's between the habit of financial intelligence and just understanding the difference between being an employee, self-employed person, business owner, and investor. Something that Robert Kiyosaki talks about in his books, Cash Flow Quadrant and How to Raise Your Financial IQ, and a book he did with Donald Trump, Why We Want You to Be Rich, I believe is the title. And when you start to assimilate all of this information together, I know when I read Cash Flow Quadrant the first time, what totally happened is I got absolutely mad because no one had told me that there was another way to earn money. I didn't know. how our monetary system worked or how earning money worked. And it's been such a freeing and an empowering thing to understand how that all comes together. And then understanding, raising your financial IQ so that you can take advantage and help people take advantage of the opportunities that our economy presents itself all the time, everywhere you go, and just being able to see those things. But when it comes down to a habit, I think the thing that has benefited me most is eliminating the comfort zone. I don't have one anymore. And just being willing to do what I'm asked to do by people that are more financially successful than myself, and do it as fast as they say so.
Mm-hmm.
And I call it moving at the speed of instruction. And if you're willing to do that and willing to embrace and enjoy the ride, so many things happen for you faster than you imagine. I know that's been very, very, very true so far.
Got it. I like that, moving at the speed of instruction. What would you say is the biggest challenge for you in your do-over, and how are you overcoming it?
Well, for me, it was, I remember I started out as an employee, self-employed person, thinking the way an employee or self-employed person, thinks. Not that, and again, I'm not saying that that's bad to think. It's just that sometimes you don't know any better, and we have to go through this, pain and process to become something different. And once we become that something different, you've got to, and fully embrace it. And for me, it was just believing that all the good things, all the good, quote-unquote, benefits of being a business owner or being a real estate investor could actually happen to me and would happen to me. I mean, it's like when you hear someone say, yeah, you can own a house, and you're thinking, well, I'll get the one house in the neighborhood that will burn down, or the people would never pay rent, or nothing would work right. And you could easily feel like that, or because we're told, for me, being told so many times as we grow up, what we can't do, to be surrounded by a group of individuals that begin to just tell you, hey, you can, and absolutely remove all limitations and possibilities, and are willing to take the time to show you and teach you and help you get things that you only dreamt were possible. It was a mindset shift to switch that.
Mm-hmm.
And then right behind that came the learning how to think about wealth and money and just income differently, because there was a time where, if I wanted to buy something, my thought process was I had to go out there and sell a whole bunch of product or sell someone else's product and do all those things in order to have enough money to buy it, amassing a pile of income. Then I started thinking about it, and I ran into a program that just taught me that, if you wanted to buy something, go buy an asset that produces the cash and use that cash that it produces to go buy the thing you want. And learning the discipline of how to delay gratification in those ways has paid multiple dividends time and time again.
Mm-hmm. How are you using technology today in your do-over? I know you're rather a gadget geek, and I know that you're using technology, and you're probably really, really excited right now to answer this question. So I'm gonna let you answer it.
Yes. Well, yes, like you said, you do know me. I recently, and by recently I mean just before this interview, was at the Best Buy, and yesterday I was at the Apple Store. And I frequent these places. Sometimes I get my best inspiration around gadgets. Who knows? But I use all kinds of gadgets. I've got Bluetooth headsets. I've got the Apple iPad. I've got the iPhone 4. I've got a MacBook. And one of the greatest things that I love is that with the iPad and my phone, I can pretty much run my business anywhere. Now, at this point in my business, I do have an assistant who stays stationary, which is great. And so anything that, really, really needs like signature or some other, those types of things are things that she can do. But for most of the things that are needed for business, I don't actually need a physical office. So I get to be very mobile, location independent is one of the things that I like to say, and it definitely helps me to be that way. I like the idea of being able to be free. In fact, what was kind of cool is that one of the deals I recently did